All right, let's start, man. Danny, welcome to Crate. Welcome to our podcast.
Thank you.
Super good to have you here, especially on short notice. Welcome to Bali.
Last minute thing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and get some water in there to lube it up. We've got lots to talk about. We don't know each other. This is the first time we've met.
Yeah.
So we can use this time to get to know each other and find out a bit more about your story.
Mm-hmm.
I did a little bit of Googling on you at the start, and you pretty impressive stuff. I mean, it sort of happened pretty quick for you.
Yeah.
You were saying earlier, youngest resident Hakkasan. That was around, did you say 20, was it, or 18? You were 18?
I think I was 18 or 19 at the time.
How long ago was that?
I'm 27 now. So that was about like 10 years ago,
10 years
something
ago.
like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
A decade ago, man.
Yeah. I started DJing a long time ago now. It feels crazy. Time flies, man. It's scary, yeah?
Yeah.
Time goes really fast. I mean, I started DJing when I was 15. So it's been like a roller coaster.
Yeah. How did you get into DJing?
I mean, sometimes there's like this thing that you can't really explain, but like it just gets your attention right away. I mean, for some people it's sports, for some people it's like certain activities, and for me it was DJing. It took me a little while to realize that it was DJing. I knew for sure that it was music.
Yeah.
Because I used to play the piano, I used to play all the instruments here and there, but like I needed to find out like the right thing for me, but I knew it was music because I was always obsessed with music.
Like from a young age?
Yeah. Like even when I was like 5 or 6 years old, I asked my grandfather to buy me like a little violin. Like it was in my head.
Started playing violin at
like 6. I was 6. I just like, I don't remember. But so it was always like inside of me. And then when I would see a video or anything of a DJ on the TV or on YouTube, like it would get my attention right away, So I knew that was what I really wanted to do, So that happened when I was like 14 or 15, and I started messing around. I started like watching videos on YouTube of like I didn't know what was like the right equipment to use because there were a lot of DJs using Serato and Tractor and CDJs and virtual DJs. So I was like I had to find out what I had to start with, and that's pretty much how I started a long time ago.
Wow. And how did like, I mean, if he's kind of getting into it pretty seriously at 15, how does you go from 15 to Hakkasan at 18, 19? How does that happen? That's fast.
Well,
right?
a lot of things, man. A lot of things. It did not happen from one day to the other. It was a long process. Basically, I used to live in Marbella, which is in the south of Spain, and I had my whole life there, my family and everything. And I decided one day to change everything. I moved to Madrid by myself when I was like 15 or 16 because I was DJing at that time a little bit. I was doing some parties with my brother and I was doing certain things, but I needed to like to make something, to change, to find opportunities, to really follow my dream in a way, So I went to Madrid to find more opportunities, and that's pretty much when things got a little bit better for me. I started working with managers, started talking to people, started talking to promoters, started booking shows, and that's when my career kind of like started, you know, like in a way, like in a proper way. And I think that was like the most important decision that I made in my life, like moving, to Madrid. And I actually moved by myself. I went to my grandparents' basement. I put a bed in the basement, and I slept there for like a year.
In Madrid?
In Madrid. And then I dropped out of school when I was 16 because I was already playing some shows. So I was like, I can kind of afford like paying certain things here and there, but, very little. And then I was already traveling a little bit, so and then from there it's a very long story, but that's how like the early days were for me.
And so you're in Madrid. Did you pick up some residencies? What was your first big residency in Madrid?
Well, the first residency I had in Madrid, man, was at a club called Capital, and it was like underage parties.
Yeah.
I was 15 and I had a great time back then, man. I loved it. I used to play like at 5 p.m. Until like 10 p.m., like 4 or 5 hours. And I remember, bro, the energy there was crazy. Like those kids were going insane, I remember. And it helped me a lot to like learn and learn a lot about like, you know, like how to develop the set and how to like become a bit more confident on stage, and you know.
Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
think, you know, we don't appreciate what it's like to learn when you know, playing long sets, because you have to think so much more about setting up songs and keeping people's energy, but
Yeah.
allowing them to recover, but still be part of the energy, part of the groove.
Yeah.
And back then, so we're talking like about 10 years ago, what kind of music was happening? It was sort of like Avicii in the EDM space, Swedish House Mafia. We had
Right before that.
just before that,
Right
popped.
before that.
Yeah.
Right before the whole bubble like exploded. And it was, for me, it was amazing because I got the chance to see the whole transition of music for
Yeah.
the past 12 or 13 years. And a lot of the DJs nowadays, especially the ones that were in like the EDM scene, I don't think they experienced that. And that's for me like the most important thing, that I saw the whole transition of music from like Roger Sanchez to like Tool Room Records, like Mark Knight and Fede Legrand, and those. I used to love that stuff. I still do, obviously. But
early electro was cool.
yeah,
It was really good.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was amazing
Yeah.
stuff. And then that's when like 1 year after, that's when EDM exploded.
Yeah.
When like the like Hartwell came on and Nicky Romero started making the first tracks, and those guys,
Afrojack and stuff.
yeah,
like
and
that.
Afrojack, yeah, and Guetta was collaborating with Nicky Romero. Like that's when like things changed completely and like EDM exploded.
And the US started really grabbing it.
Exactly.
You know,
And
I
then
think-
exactly. The US, it got huge in the US, and then it just like boom, it became this huge thing.
Yeah.
But I think it lost it after like, it was nice, it was amazing for a few years, and it had an amazing energy, and the music was very cool, and there were amazing tracks coming one right after the other one, whether you liked it or not.
Yeah,
You know, like
yeah.
it was just like really cool tracks and amazing producers. But after a lot of years, man, like I think it just lost it, you know, after like, I don't know, 6-7 years, it's just like, it was not special anymore, I think. You know, it was very difficult to like, and I'm just being honest, you know,
Yeah.
like for me, because I don't ever lie about this, like maybe some people like it or not, but like it just lost like how special it was.
I think
you
it's
know?
like what you're trying to say is it lost a bit of soul,
Yeah,
you know, a feeling.
yeah,
It was maybe sonically there, technically there, but there was nothing else behind it.
exactly. I think a lot of people were just following, you know, like the whole trend and the whole bubble, and they just wanted to do it because they had to do it. And I'm not hating at all, because I was part of it for a lot of years. But the thing is, you know, what I'm trying to say is that I was in the industry before that whole thing happened, and I was playing like house music, and I was playing tech house and techno for a few years. But like the whole scene changed so much, so some artists like stayed that in that line, and I was just starting my career, and I wanted to obviously like get to the bigger audience and reach more people. And I went to America when I was 17, so I was dragged into that sound that, of course, I loved so much in the beginning, and I love the energy about it. I love the energy of like playing that stuff. But I realized, bro, like after several years, it just lost it, you know. So I think we all saw, right? Like that's just sound went so many different directions. And right now, I think that music is in a very weird moment, but in the most important moment, because it's like either you find something special to do, or like your path, or like you're gone, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What's
like,
a track that you made from that era, like that type of sound that you're most proud of? And you have a bit of a story behind it. Because there was a lot of good music made, you know, musically as well.
Yeah. Well, I think for me at that time, and it's one of my first like kind of like bigger releases I had, was called Breaking Your Fall, which was a very kind of like, you know, sort of vocal track, melodic. And I think at that time it was like a good track for that time. And then I started playing and making more tracks just like for my sets, you know. They were like more, just tracks for my sets pretty much. And then I went a lot of different directions, man, with my music, you know.
It's hard, right? Because there's so many things that you like.
Yeah.
For different situations.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah. So I was doing a lot of things, a lot of different tracks, and I was still trying to find like the right way for me, you know, because I was like this and that and this and that. And then I tried after some years to make more like, how do you say, like collaborating with singers and pop artists. And I made a track with Machine Gun Kelly. I made a song with the Vamps. I made a song with Famous Dex. So I was also following that kind of like for a while. I wanted to go in that lane, and I loved it, you know. But in the end of the day, like I just want to go to like a bit of a conclusion music wise. I miss my beginnings. You know what I mean? Like the reason why I started.
You know, when you start making music and it's fresh, you can do anything. That feeling, you can just make stuff that you enjoy.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes when you get a bit of success and you have different labels that are trying to steer you down a direction, you lose a lot of that freedom.
Yes, 100%.
Right?
100%.
And it's not fun anymore. And people can feel that, you know, and
yeah,
the most important thing, and this is why I love the underground space, the whole idea is you're able to do whatever you want to do, you
100%.
know, and there's so much more happiness in that.
Mm.
You've been producing for a long time, I assume. When did you start writing, producing?
Like 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years, yeah.
And have you, over the years, like, do you write a lot at the moment, or over the years, have you written a lot of music that you've never released?
Like 20 times the amount of tracks that I've released, or even more, like 40 times. I think if I've released like, I don't know, 60, 100 tracks, I don't even know.
Yeah.
Maybe I've made like 1,000, you know, like it's just been like a lot of music, you know. But I think it's part of it, you know. I think you can like release all the music that you make, you know. It's just impossible.
I try to tell some of my friends that, you know, we'll write 3 tracks and they want to get them signed. I'm like, chill, like you maybe write 10 and pick the best 3, because sometimes you write something in one song that may not be the best, but then it leads you to the 4th song.
Yeah.
Where, you know, it's just a journey.
Yeah, no, and it's a process of learning, and then you might not release it, but then you get something that you made in one track, whether it's a preset or
either a preset, exactly, an effect.
Or effect or sound, and or even you start creating your own samples and banks, and then you start kind of like developing your sound. So, you know, it's part of the game, you know. And I think if you're a producer and you pretend to like release a track, like every track you make, you want to release it. It's not how it works. Like my vision is, out of 10 ideas, I might release 1, you know.
That's your kind of like, you're happy if you might. Yeah.
That's how it's been for me always.
Do you have fun when you sit down in the studio and just get to start that blank screen? Do you like that?
Yeah, but for me, when I start like from scratch, it's mostly when I'm on tour, to be honest.
Like on the laptop in the plane?
Yeah, sometimes.
Hotel room?
Yeah, exactly. I just like start doing ideas, and because for me, when I'm at home, it's kind of hard to just like sit down in the studio, okay, let's make something, because I might not have like, not so inspired, but I'm better at like making ideas on the road, like when I'm just alone, like in my hotel room or traveling, and then I go back to my house where I have like my better studio with, you know, the good speakers and everything, and then I
finish it off.
I develop it, and you know.
So you sketch on the road.
Yeah,
and
kind
then
of.
And how does it work for you? Where do you find inspiration? Did you listen to other people's music when you're traveling or when you're at shows, or do ideas just come to you?
I think it's a bunch of different things, you know. I think for me, traveling is for me like the biggest inspiration, where you get to listen to a lot of different DJs and artists. You go to shows, you go to clubs and festivals, and you get to hear a little bit certain things, but also like being by yourself, I think is super important, you know. Like I love being by myself a lot of times, you know, because that's when I'm just free. I listen to stuff that I like, and then I start like writing down ideas or even notes on my phone, or like just putting certain tracks together in folders, and you know, that's when I get really creative, you know. But it comes from a lot of different things, you know. But like I think traveling, when you're traveling, you are tired a lot, but then your head is in a lot of different like spaces, right?
Yeah.
So like that also like makes you very creative, I think, as well. You know what I mean?
You're a little bit lucid.
Yeah, exactly.
And how do you kind of keep up with, like, how much do you travel at the moment?
Well, today's my 8th show in a row.
Really? And how do you, like, I guess...
Yeah, thanks, man.
How do you do that? Like, so where have you been last 8 days, bro?
Well, I did 7 shows in Indonesia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and played
every day.
Every day. But you know, it's okay. I mean, I'm not like, I barely drink when I play. Like, I mean, if I have a day off, the day after, I have with friends or whatever, of course, you know, I might have a good time. But like if I'm touring, I just play the show, I leave. I try to go to the gym almost every day if I can. I like to eat healthy. I like to have like a bit of a solid life, you know. So it's important, you know.
How important? Like, I did a bit of an Insta stalk, and you definitely look after yourself. How important is that routine for you? work like train daily? Do you have like how do you do that when you're traveling too?
For me, the most important thing I think it helped me a lot is like working out, you know, because it really protects you and your body and your mind. It's not about looking amazing. It's about like
Putting in the work.
Yeah,
The sweat, the cardio.
Yeah, it's about like it protects me. You know what I mean? It protects me because if I have a routine, I'm not gonna get lost. You know, like I think
it grounds you.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it sounds a bit like cheesy, but it that's how it is for
Bali,
me.
bro. We can say all the spiritual cheesy shit here, man.
Yeah, bro. So it does help me a lot, you know, to work out, and especially on tour. I mean, I started working out was like 4 or 5 years ago. When I started touring, I was very young. I was not doing any sports. I was not doing anything, and I felt it in my body. You know, I was just like, I was also drinking often. I was partying more, and this and that, and I felt it in my body. You know, and also in terms of work, you know, I got lost. I didn't know my times, my routines, my things. So now it helps me a lot, you know, to be like more.
Yeah, man.
Focus.
Any tips on like what kind of workout style you do and diet?
Well, I think it's different for everybody. For me, I try to eat like 3, 4, sometimes 5 times a day. I try to travel with food sometimes. So like I might leave the hotel and like bring something with me or like snacks or just like some protein shakes as well. Just like because when you travel, you don't eat so much. You know, if you spend like 10 hours at the airport, you might not get something. So, you know, I might bring something with me. And I just, to be honest, I just do weights. You know, I do cardio sometimes here and there, but like I just try to do weights and kind of like survive on tour, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And for you, is that at like the hotel gyms or there's like international gyms that you're a member of or?
Yeah, so I try, bro, to request hotels that have a gym. Yeah, it's important for me, you know, so I don't have to like maybe leave for like 30 minutes to try to find a gym, especially if you're in a city every day.
Yeah.
It's kind of like difficult. So you need to have it easy, you know, like boom, 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 and done.
Do you do anything else like meditation or anything like that?
No, but I would like to try.
Yeah.
So I heard good things about it.
Yeah, it's good.
You know, yeah. Do you do it?
Yeah, I do. Not every day, but I do practice meditation sometimes in the morning, sometimes at night. It kind of sometimes I would do it if I am traveling too and I'm tired. I would do it just as a recharge, 20 minutes, repeat a mantra in my head, and you definitely feel a difference. It just chills you out.
Yeah, right.
You know,
you feel more in the moment, right?
You feel more in the moment, and things that bothered you or things that bothered your thoughts or that caused worry no longer worry you. It's similar to the gym. You know, if you might be a bit upset or a bit stressed or a bit angry with something, after the gym, you're like, chill.
100%.
Similar thing.
I'll try, definitely.
I'll send you some stuff after this on meditation. So you've had a pretty epic life so far, and I feel like, if I'm being honest, I mean, I've only known you for 20 minutes and 50 seconds, but I feel like you're just getting started too, in a way.
Yeah.
You know,
and
you've got heaps of energy. And tell me a bit about Mainstage Techno, because you're sort of, I think, you know, I listened to one of your mixes, your latest one. I think it's a Mainstage mix that you do. I think it's your place or something in your studio.
Yeah.
And just to get an idea of, like, I can learn about people by listening to the music they play. You know, what kind of vibe they're going for. And then I looked at some of your releases. I saw that you've released on Spinnin' and stuff. I think it looks like you're very much in the middle of a pretty big transition, and I think a lot of your fans and followers will want to know about that. And this is a great time to explain, you know, your own evolution, because there's a lot of people that are going to follow you on this path.
Totally.
You know?
And a lot that won't. Yeah.
And that's cool.
It's fine.
Which is cool, because, you know, you've got to do you.
Yeah.
And you've got to be happy with what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because that's what people want.
Yeah. 100%,
you know,
100%.
imagine someone that you follow, like, I don't know, let's say, imagine Maceo Plex doesn't enjoy the music that he makes. You'd be like, you know, that's not cool.
It's not working.
Yeah, you can feel that, but he loves it. You watch him play his tracks, he's loving it.
Yeah.
And people love that he loves it.
Yeah. And that is the main reason why I did it, because when the whole pandemic thing started, it got me thinking, you know, especially because I stopped playing the bigger shows. You know, I stopped playing the festivals, I stopped playing the big clubs, and I was just playing private parties, you know, for my friends
During the pandemic.
During the pandemic, I mean, not like in the
Yeah,
very
yeah.
bad part, but like a few months after, when it was more chill, the clubs weren't open, but you could hang out with friends. I was just playing with my friends, and I was playing music that I just loved. You know, that I would just listen to in my house, and I would just buy and I would play because I really liked it, not because I had to play, just because
You enjoyed it.
I wanted to play.
Yeah.
And it was just like it was like a hobby for a few months, just like playing music tracks that I liked. And then I was like, you know what? Like, I just can't go back to certain sounds that I was playing some time ago that I'm not feeling so much anymore, because I love this that so much more. Basically, It's just like I just love this, and if I would go back to what I was playing some time ago, I would have to force it, you know?
Yeah.
So it got me thinking. I was like, okay, what was the reason why I started DJing? Because I was playing music that I liked. I was not forced to play anything. I was just had play music that I liked, and people connected with me.
Yeah.
So I was like, I had to do something about it. You know, I had to, like, I don't know what it's gonna be, but I have to do something about it. So I started thinking and thinking and thinking, and that's when I came out with the concept of Mainstage Techno. I was like, okay, I want to do something that I can play music like in the big stages. I can go to Tomorrowland, to Ultra, or to whatever festival it is, or club, and play a sound that connects with me, but still connects with like the bigger audiences. You know?
I think there's also crossover too with techno and EDM in some areas.
Yeah.
From a production point, 100%. You know,
Yeah.
it's just sometimes techno has a few less layers, but then again, sometimes some techno that I come across, I'm like, this is EDM,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
From a production point,
Yeah. 100%.
you know, it's not a lot of difference.
100%, bro. 100%.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is pretty much the reason, you know, why I started the project. And I think for me it was the best decision ever, because I feel like I'm just 100% connected with like the moment that I'm living in right now, and the music that I'm playing. And I'm thankful that I made that decision, because I would not be able to play sounds and tracks and music that I was playing some time ago, because it didn't feel authentic to me, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I mean, I'm in a proper transition process, you know, because it is a bit of a challenging process for me.
Well, because people might see you a certain sound, and now you've got to, like, I always use this analogy, Ross from Friends. You know, you see that guy in a movie, you're like, that's just Ross from Friends. And then I found out there's a DJ called Ross from Friends, which is hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean? It's like you've got to keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
And people are either going to accept that or not accept that. But you want the people that just get it to follow you.
Yeah.
Because you don't need to convert people, you know?
100%.
I think
100%.
sometimes people get too attached to what people that follow them think about them.
Yeah.
But you just got to be happy, bro.
Yeah, 100%.
And, you know, follow your heart.
And then people will follow you, I think, you know. And for a lot of years, I was doing a lot of things that I was kind of like trying to make everyone happy in a way.
Yeah.
You know?
Labels,
Yeah.
promoters.
Oh my God. And I hated it.
Yeah.
And I just hated it, bro. Like, it was horrible for me to have to listen to a label. Like, oh, Danny, you have to change this song and do it in this direction. You have to work with this guy and do it in this direction. And I was like,
Did you get a lot of that?
Bro,
Yeah.
non-stop.
Non-stop, right?
Like, I just hated it so much. Every day in my studio, I would talk to my team. I'd be like, I just hate this stuff. I just want to do what I want to do. But I understand, you know, like, when you work with a lot of people and a label, things like that, you're also a little bit of, I have to do it, this and that.
But do you though? You don't. You know, when you're in that situation, you do.
Kind of, you know,
Yeah.
I was young, you know,
Yeah,
and I was starting, and I was there for many years. But now, you know, after 10 years of career, and I want to do something that was just for myself. So I was like, you know, Mainstage Techno is going to be a music label. It's going to be.
Yeah, tell us about the vision.
Yeah.
What is Mainstage Techno? It's a label.
So it is my label. We
Yep.
just released the first track.
Yep.
I mean, it started as like what I was, you know, just mentioning, like that vision of me wanting to do something. But of course, I was like, okay, it needs to be more than that. It needs to be a label. You know, I need to release music in this with this sound. You
Yep.
know, so we created the label. We launched the first one, which did pretty good. It won number, I think, 13 on Techno on Beatport.
Yep.
Which for the first one, I was very happy about. And then my plan is going to be to release a track every month for the next year, just by myself, like
Yep.
just my own records every month, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, until the 12th one. And then I want to start like making it a bit of a community. You know, I want to start bringing talents and producers and other people on
I'll
board.
send
you know?
you some techno demos.
Yeah, let's do it,
You
bro.
know,
Let's do it.
I've got a year.
Yeah, no, for sure.
So the
bro.
plan is going to be releasing every month. When did it start? Last month or a little bit?
It started last month, actually.
Yeah.
And the next track
Sick.
is coming out in 3 days, this
Okay.
Friday.
Okay.
So
What's the next track called?
it's called Azteca.
Ateka.
Ateca.
Ateca.
Yeah, Ateca.
Yeah.
Trying to find like names from like different important spots of the world. You know, the first one was Sagrada Familia, which is like a very important monument in Madrid. The next one is Ateca. The next one is going to be called, I think, El Cairo.
El Cairo.
El Cairo. So I'm just trying to find like different things because I think with the tracks, like most of the names is like being very very repetitive. So I'm very inspired by like cool things around the world and monuments and things like that. So I just want to like incorporate that in the brand.
Gives like a bit of a context to the song.
Yeah.
What's the inspiration behind the next track?
Well, for this one, I just wanted to do. For the first 2 or 3 records, I wanted to make sure that the track is a definition of Mainstage Techno. Like, okay, no, it's a bit different. No, I just want to make sure that when people hear, okay, this is Mainstage
This is the
Techno.
sound.
This is the sound. Like, this is it. This is what you're gonna get when you get to a show. You know. So I think the first tracks are like exactly a definition of the sound. It's just like very, very, very strong, kind of hard drops, like very hard kick drum and bass.
Big
very,
kick, big sub.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like just like pure, proper like big time main stage techno. I would say, like some nice melodies on the breaks. After that, I want to start like trying out new things and sounds. But like for the first 3-4 releases, like. You gotta.
It's interesting, like with sound, like I use my same gear. Like I got an SEO2 and a Korg Mini Log XD and a Juno. They're like 3 core things for my sound. For you, is it the same sort of thing? Are you using the same kind of soft synths or synths for those 3 tracks at the moment with the sound, or is it more drums and?
I mean, I used to be honest, like most of my setup, like most of the time I use like the same setup. I try to like keep my setup. I'm not like the craziest, most nerd producer in the world. I'm not like trying to always find new things. I'm not that person. I find stuff that I'm comfortable with working and I try to get the most out of it.
Yeah, that's the better way, because if you have too much, then you don't know it enough.
I mean, I've worked with producers that are like crazy with like new sounds and new plugins and new synths, but for me, I'm more like, okay, I just want to get the most out of what I have.
And
you know what I mean?
What are the main things that you're using at the moment in these songs?
I mean, I'm using Serum at the moment the most.
Yeah, a lot of people love Serum.
The most, for me, that's just incredible. You can do most of your stuff with it, I would say.
Really cool sound design, shaping.
100%. I've stuff from Avengers. Silent is a synth that I've actually used for many years, and I still use it.
On it.
I'm still on it. I have certain stuff that I'm still on it.
Because right?
Yeah, I just know it.
You think of something,
stuff.
I know it.
So it's very basic, but I have it. I got the Poly D in my studio as well, which
nice.
is and I started going crazy with it. I mean, it's fantastic. I do a lot of cool brass sounds with it, and
that's one that I want to get.
Yeah, it's really good, and I mean, you really hear the difference. Like you really hear it. Like when I got it, I was like, I mean, it's just, and also you just spend hours like tweaking it, and it's different. It's very intuitive.
Intuitive. Yeah. Wicked.
Yeah.
So these 12 tracks, have you written them all already, or are you writing as you go for Mainstage?
I'm still on it, bro. I'm doing. I think I'm just finishing the 4th one. I got the first 3 ready to go. I actually played them the last week at some festivals in Europe, and I'm right now working on the 4th one.
Wicked, man.
Yeah.
Wicked, dude.
So it's gonna be a process.
How are you finding the transition now that you're sort of going down this kind of techno path compared to what you were playing with the gigs? Is that sort of, are you picking and choosing more where you play? Are promoters kind of like, oh, cool, yeah, like how does that work for you with the transition with your shows?
It is a bit of a thing, especially when I come to Asia, because in Asia, I mean, EDM is really big, and I get booked a lot of shows, that they might expect a certain sound. But then I play Mainstage Techno, but in a more friendly way. So I try to like play more vocals here and there, so like they don't get scared that it's like a just full on techno set. You know. So, for instance, today, I'm playing at a beach club here in Bali. So I'm not going full techno here. I'm adapting and I'm playing a little bit more tech house, for instance. But it's not EDM. It's stuff that I like. It's not like a main stage techno show that I might do at Tomorrowland in 3 days in Belgium.
Yeah. You're playing in Tomorrowland?
Yeah, on Friday.
You ready for that?
I'm ready, man.
Yeah,
I'm ready. I just finished my set yesterday, preparing the most of the track list, and it's gonna be a good one.
Wicked, man. Have a lot of fun for that. When this goes live, you would have already played your Tomorrowland set, so people would have already seen that and been there with you.
Yeah.
So that's going to be amazing, man.
Yeah. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Back to the label side. Do you run the label yourself? Do you have a team?
I have a team. I mean, I'm on top of everything. You know, I'm a workaholic, bro. Like I just check on everything, and then I wasn't like that when I was younger. I think I needed to find the right thing to be like that. You know, and before, because I was controlled by the label and my agency, my team, I couldn't do that. You know, I was just like, okay, I was just doing stuff that I was told to do. But now that I have the control of the brand and I have my vision and my sound and everything, I love doing it, bro. It's amazing. Like I just choose everything, like from the artworks to like the visual part.
It's fun, right?
Bro, I love it.
Yeah.
It's great. Like, and it's very it's a very artistic way of doing, very creative way of doing things, and I needed that in my life. You know, to feel like, to feel happier, to be honest, just to do something that, okay, it feels like, you know, you have your company, you know, and like you're like the CEO and you run it, you know, so you feel very productive and very happy with it.
What do you find is like, obviously you've got quite a lot of followers and you've built up a big brand as is, but I think you're ready to go. You're going to pop again. You know, I think it's like, you know, especially now that you're doing more of what you love, and you have more control over who you are, you know, this is me, you know, instead of being told who you should be. And, you know, 10 years or more under the belt allows you to know what you're okay with, right?
100%.
What are some of the biggest lessons you've learned about, I guess, happiness in our industry as an artist? And what's some advice you can give to people on how to protect themselves and stay happy?
That's a good question, bro, because it is a tough industry, honestly. It is a tough industry, bro. Like, especially, you know, I try to help, you know, certain guys, and I hang out with a lot of producers and DJs that are not like that big yet, but they're working on it and they're working very hard. And
these are like your kind of circle, your friends.
And I realize how difficult it is to make it.
Yeah.
So, and I understand there's a lot of pressure and a lot of like, you know, it's like a daily fight, you know. So I understand that it's a very tough process. But I mean, advice to be happy, I think the most important thing is just to be connected with what you're doing. That's just essential. Whether you're making commercial music, mainstream, underground, or trance or whatever, like I think you have to be connected. Otherwise, I think people see it, you know.
And I think so.
I think so, bro. Yeah. It's crazy.
You feel it. You can hear two songs and go, this one I like.
Yeah, bro. And
you feel the soul.
And like if you're playing a set and you see the DJ playing style, that it feels natural, you know. Yeah. So like for instance, if you see Jamie Jones playing, I mean, you see that he's playing music that he likes. He's connected, you know. It's like it's just perfect. I see DJs that I admire, and I that's the reason why I admire them, because I see that it's just connected, you know. So. So I think that's just important, you know, to find that thing. But I mean, for me, I mean, look, it took like 11 years to find that, you know. Yeah. I was very happy in online. I was very happy with what I was doing. I was very motivated, but not as much as I am now.
Yeah,
you know.
That's what I mean. Like this is like Danny 3.0.
Yeah, you know? yeah, for sure.
What do you feel? How do you handle the balance between being an artist, being a DJ, and then social media? What's your approach to that? How much, obviously we have to put up a lot of content to keep your engagement. How do you manage, how much time do you spend a week on social media?
I do spend a lot of time on social media, but not because I like it, because I actually hate it, but it's because I have to, kind of, because I love to see what's out there. I love to see what people are playing. I love to see what's happening at the festivals, and I like to be updated with that.
So you use it to keep in touch?
Yes, 100%.
What do you hate about it?
I just hate posting. I don't like it, and I hate it so much that I have someone doing it for me, because I don't like it. I don't like preparing. I don't like it, bro. Like,
it's weird, right?
Yeah, for me, like, just don't like it so much, bro.
Man, one of the biggest things, and we're going to start talking about Crate.
Yeah.
One of my dreams and one of my beliefs is that artists want to spend more time in the studio, less time on social media. And self-promoting is a bit strange, because it's if you write a song that I vibe with, I can post it and be like, this is fucking dope, because you wrote it and I connect with that. But for someone to say with their own track, hey, this is good, it's strange. So we say, yeah, latest track dropping now, and we don't say too much about it. And I think art is designed to be that way where other human beings connect with it and share it, and we all support each other together. That's why you have your crew.
Yeah.
Where you guys can have real talk, no filter, and, oh, you think that too? Yeah, me too, And social media, I have a big problem with social media because a lot of artists really struggle mentally with it. We get into a stage where we're kind of like the social media dilemma. Did you see that on Netflix? Check it out, man. Social media dilemma.
Okay, I will for sure.
It talks about like how social media is designed to kind of stimulate dopamine in our brains, and we're kind of, trained to do this. But it gets to a point where, like, if just to be in the game as an artist, especially an artist that's trying to break through, they have to like be posting content almost every day, and that still doesn't guarantee you to get to your audience. And I'm like, there's got to be a better way. Because imagine if you could do more of what you love, that is making music and DJing and looking for music to DJ, right? And just hanging out, like listening to other people's music instead of social media. How much happier would you be? And
a lot.
That's why we started Crate. We started Crate in the pandemic. I started researching crypto and NFT technology. And our biggest belief is artists should be able to make money from selling their music, because most artists can only really make money at the moment from their gigs. But not everyone can gig. Like what you do, not everyone can do that. And not everyone wants to do that. They might have family. They might have another commitment to provide. Yeah. And there's something really broken about our industry where people can't make money off their music. And now, except for the vinyl industry, people are making money producing records. And I think there's something we can learn from the vinyl industry, the paradigm, for us digital guys, we have to be on Beatport, we have to be on SoundCloud, we have to be on Spotify, we have to be on TrackSource, the list goes on. And because we need to kind of extract as many sales as possible, right, out of from the music. But vinyl is kind of like, man, if you want my shit, buy my record. How much easier is that? Yeah. Yeah. And that's the mindset that we need to have, and that's the mindset we're going to have at Crate, where Crate is essentially a music marketplace. It's like Beatport meets Bandcamp, right? Okay. And you're going to be able to upload your own music. So we'll be able to get Mainstage Techno on there as a label, and you'll be able to create like 100 copies of one track, right? And then you'll be able to see every single person who's buying that track. And you can sell out, right? You sell your first 100 copies. And I'm like, damn, dude, that's a good song. For me to buy it, I can't buy it off Mainstage Techno anymore because you're sold out. I have to buy it off one of the DJs. Okay. Right? Okay. And what do DJs want? Music that other DJs don't have. Yeah. So if a DJ is going to sell it, they're going to want to make some money from their track, right? Wow. Like if you're like, hey, Kaiser, I want that track. I'm like, we're friends, right? Let's say I'm in your circle back home. And you're like, you see me play track. You're like, dude, I want that. I'll be like, I have a smile on my face going, yeah, smart. You can buy it off me, man, for $5, right? Yeah. And then so I've sold the track to you, so now you have it. I've still got the track because I've made a copy for myself, so I can keep playing it, but I can only sell it once. That's the NFT. Okay. Right? Okay. And it's just going to be like, like Beatport vibes. Wow. So everyone knows that it's simple. Wow. Because that's all this is going to change the game. Yeah, I think so. And I think the structure of, the whole, not industry, but this type of industry of music, of selling records, stuff like that, it's been the same way for a long time. And that's what you were saying. Like, it's just not fair in a way. It's not fair. And again, like, imagine if you could do more of what you love, you would have more music and then more people would benefit. And honestly, like, I think people should focus on making music and listening to music and buying records instead of, doing like a million other things, You know what's fucked? Like on social media, let's say you've got, I think, 300,000, right, followers, just a couple. And when you do a post, not everyone who follows you sees your shit, right? So then you have to do all these other things to have maximum engagement. Imagine, like on Crate, you have 300,000 followers, and you post a new release and 300,000 people see that, right?
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
That's how it should be.
Because you worked hard to get those followers.
100%. Exactly. And the problem is that you have, let's say you have 1 million followers and maybe like, I don't know, 50,000 people see that. Like it's a very low engagement, honestly, like nowadays. And it's not fair, you know.
It keeps changing, too, the rules.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not fair because in the end, like those are your fans that are supposed to see the stuff that you post.
They've said yes.
Exactly. They said yes, you know, like, yes, they got the ring, you know. So that's how it's supposed to be. So I'm very happy to hear this stuff, honestly. I'm very happy to hear this because I think it needs to be changed, you know, at some point.
We you know, at Crate, we focus on DJs and artists. And when you do a release, you'll be able to send it out. And then what will happen is, imagine like for a new guy, right, that hasn't got as many followers. He's say got 1,000, 2,000, but he's got a dope track, right? And let's say you're my friend. Well, you are my friend now, but let's say, you know, and I go, hey, Danny, check out this track. You go, dude, send it to me. I'll play it. So now instead of promo, I send you the track to your wallet, right? So I send it to your user account for free. So you're playing the track. People can see that you're playing track. And then I put, let's say I've got 2,000 followers. I make 5 copies, right? Because I know I'm going to sell out on those 5 copies. I give 1 to you for free and I sell 4 on my storefront for sale, $5. And all my friends, like people that buy my music, they're going to buy it straight away. So some people are going to miss out.
Yeah.
Because they're late.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Because it's scarcity now.
Yeah.
And then they have to try and buy it off the other person that bought it. So they're going to think next time I need to be fast to buy it. So every time you do an announcement, new Mainstage Techno track, you know, Danny Avila, blah, 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 or even just like remix packages or whatever you're doing, people are going to be like, shit, I need to get on that quick.
Yeah.
Because it's limited now.
We should do something with Mainstage Techno over there.
Yeah, man. Let's get you part of it. After the show, we'll talk more about it and let's get you part of this. Yeah, like, let's get you giving us some music.
Yeah.
Because it is exclusive. That's the other thing is the way we can do it is when you release a track on Crate, it has to be exclusive. Because if you're on Beatport with the same track, it won't make sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
And this is mainly just for DJs. We're not like, you'll still be able to get on Spotify and all that kind of thing. Because to me, that's like the radio.
Okay.
You know, but it's more about DJs wanting to buy and sell.
But music. I think it's great because you can also like, you know, just give some tracks that, you know, that you have. Let's say that you I mean, we make so much music,
right?
You know, we make so much music. I mean, a lot of music. Bro. And sometimes I don't put out the music because I don't want like certain releases to conflict, especially on Spotify. I remember when I was doing more mainstream music, it's like 4 to 6 weeks, right? I would have to wait 4 or 6 weeks, so I could only release like 11 tracks a year or 10 songs a year.
Why is that? Like, you know, I mean, I know why it is that, but it doesn't have to be like that.
I hated it, right? Bro, like so much. I mean, I'll be like, I have so much music. Why cannot just like release it? And then I'll have to pick my favorite ones. And I have like hundreds of tracks on my laptop that I cannot release because of the algorithm of Spotify. You know what I mean? So
I know what you mean, man.
Yeah. So I think this is a very cool way to think about just giving cool content to the DJs, you know?
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, let's talk more. You've got a show to play at. Dude, so good to meet you.
Likewise, man.
Real pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you.
I'm
very
excited
much.
to hear about Mainstage Techno. Keep us in touch.
For sure.
With that,
I'll come back in soon, hopefully in a year when we'll talk about some.
We'll see in Europe because we're going to take Crate to Portugal.
Oh, nice.
That's where we're going to probably set up. So we'll be neighbors, bro.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll be there.
Thanks for being on the show, man. I'll get you to do a little stinger at the end. Wicked, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Pleasure, bro.